Hi, I'm Meshea, and I am so excited to bring you this daily energy management tool. Now, as with all tools, it's meant for you to personalize. That's the only way you're actually going to use it, is take what I have to say today, look at this tool and say, that's okay, but I want to tweak this and tweak that. You tweak it any way you want to. And as you use it, change it up however you want. It's a guide. The main thing I want you doing is managing your energy, because we are meant to be, feel, and experience amazing lives here. And to do so in flow, because our multidimensional selves are helping us with doing. We are to live in the vibrational frequency of unconditional love. Now, for some, that's a stretch. They're like, there's no such thing. We don't even know that. Okay, I'll give you that. What if I say we're to live in the vibrational frequency of mutual respect? What if I tell you that self-care is first saying, how do I want other people to treat me? And then realizing that before anyone else is going to treat you that way, you have to first treat yourself that way. And that is self-care. And then once you're treating yourself that way, then you realize that I respect myself this much, and everyone else deserves that level of respect. So I'm giving myself that level of respect. I want that level of respect from everyone else. Therefore, I'm going to give that level of respect to everyone else. If we all live first with the sanctity of treating ourselves that way, with understanding that it is our personal responsibility, that sovereignty and sanctity of self means respecting myself, loving myself enough to treat myself the way I want everyone else to, and then realizing, therefore, I will show up in the world that way and treat everyone else that way. Mutual respect. If we all do that, then we all end up in this vibrational frequency of unconditional love, mutual respect. It's a very high vibrational frequency. We are managing our energy. We are sovereign over ourselves. We are taking responsibility for self. And when we are all vibrating at a frequency like that, then we're all going to be attracting into our lives the things that should be there. That is energy management. Now, I'm not going to go any deeper into it right now. I'm just going to start talking about how I want you to use the tool. And then we'll go a little further. There's another video that talks in great depth about how personal self-care, unconditional love, and energy management are all the same thing. So there's another video that does that. It goes into great detail. But I just wanted to give you a little bit up front there and about why I'm so excited about this. Because I believe in this. I know it's true. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is how we are all to live. And when we do this for ourselves, we're doing it for everyone. And when we do it for everyone, we are doing this for ourselves. There is no difference. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of the design. So, what does this tool have on it? Well, we are here to be, feel, and experience the human incarnation experience. So, our multidimensional self, our other energetic parts, are here to help us do that, guide us in that. Our higher self. Other dimensions of us are our ego, our intuition. Then, of course, we have source that we're in touch with that guides us. And you may have many other guides. I'm just listing those. And if you just believe everything is energy, well, then the other aspects of our energy that we can draw upon to give us energy that we need to control, that we need to manage so that we have the energy to do however you want to look at it. But the way I teach it is we have source, we have our higher self, we have at least the dimensions of the ego, which is our guard, which keeps us safe, which we have to not let keep us too safe, which we have to not let fall back to the programming of, which tells us, oh, don't do that. We don't know what that'll do. Well, we've never done that before, or we did that once and it didn't work out right, and keeps us too safe, or has the societal programming in it of, oh, no, we shouldn't do that. What will people think? Yeah, we don't want to listen to that all the time. That's not for that. The mind is for the things we have programmed in it because we've learned them, or the automatic programming it has in it to keep the functions of the body going. That's what the mind is for. The heart is our dimension of imagination and intuition. Imagination is not like something that runs away with us and gets us into trouble. Imagination is where we conceive of the next thing in our lives. The heart knows the story. We came here to live. But we're to discover it as we go along. So the problem is, if we don't manage our energetic self, if we don't have control over the dimensionality, our multidimensional self, if we're not listening to our higher self and having sovereignty over the ego and paying attention to the intuition, then the ego will override and it will have sovereignty and it'll keep us frozen over here or blocked, and we won't move along our timeline and do that which we really are lit up about and really want to do. And then we're stuck here and we're not happy and we're not flowing in life, and life doesn't feel good, and we end up with health problems, emotional problems, spiritual problems. We're not manifesting. We have financial problems. Okay? We don't want any of that. We are here to be, feel, and experience amazing lives that our heart knows the story of. Okay? And we are going to manage our multidimensional aspects, the multidimensional parts of us, our other energetic parts. We're sovereign over those. So we're going to manage those. Energy management to flow with the story that our heart knows, because every life is a story and we get to write that story. And that's what daily energy management is about, is keeping up with that and making sure that we're doing that. Okay? So I'm going to stop there for now in this whole saga of what we're talking about with daily energy management and just stick to the tool. So the first thing we want to do every day is, what do I want to be, feel, and experience? Because that's what we're here to do, is be, feel, and experience. So what do you want to be, feel, and experience today? Not the past, because the past has already happened. Let's don't put energy there. If it wasn't the life you wanted, then let's don't worry about that story. The story doesn't mean it was a lie. It happened, so it was true. Now, maybe it wasn't your truth. Maybe it shouldn't have happened to you. Maybe somebody else was doing something that you no longer want to be a part of your life. Or maybe it was bad. Or maybe it was something that you stayed in that you shouldn't have. Or maybe you were young and you had no choice. Or maybe it's just something that at that time was right for you, but it's no longer right for you. Whatever the past was, good, bad, or indifferent, just don't worry about the past. Okay? Because you're not being the past. So, no talking about the past. And don't get too much into the present. because the future, because the future, it is going to happen. It's not happening right now. So we have to put a little bit of energy into the future because, yeah, we have to do some things to make the future happen. And there is some responsibility in planning and that sort of thing. So I'm not blowing the future off. I'm not saying we don't have to do some planning and take some responsibility. I'm not saying that at all. But it is going to happen regardless. So let's don't put all our energy there. And let's don't spend all of our time, oh, I can't wait until. Let's don't do that. Because if we put all of our energy there, well, then there's no energy for here. So if we spend all of our energy in, oh my God, that happened, or oh my God, I wish I was back there, then we don't have any energy for here. That's poor energy management. But if we're putting all of our energy in, oh, I can't wait until that happens, or how do I make that happen? And that's all we're focused on, then we don't have any energy for here. So energy management is today. What do I want to be, feel, and experience? So I really prefer you do this in the evening before you go to bed. This way, if you have trouble sleeping, if you're one of those people, you can wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh, here I am again, not able to sleep. Wait a minute, why am I not sleeping? Here's my notebook right here. I know what I'm going to be, feel, and experience tomorrow, and turn over and go back to sleep. But if you're one of those people that you want your morning coffee and you want to sit out on the veranda and watch the sun come up and you want to do your be, feel, and experience, then that works too. Whatever works for you, okay? But be, feel, and experience. I write mine now actually in real time. I used to do, I want to be. Now I am being. I am feeling, I am experiencing, but you do what works for you. In the beginning, I did it as I will be, I will feel, I will experience, because the day hadn't happened yet. And now I write it just like it's happening right then. I am being, I am experiencing, I am feeling. I claim it right then. And that works even better for me. But you do it whichever way works for you. But what do you want to be? Do you want to be aligned with your authentic self in vibrational alignment with unconditional love or mutual respect for everyone? Is that your goal for the day? That's my goal every day. So that always hits the list. And it's okay to have things that always hit the list. That's perfectly all right. Some days I want to be productive and I want to be insightful and I want to be progressing forward. It doesn't mean I want all my focus forward, but I want to be progressing forward. Other days, I want to be with friends. I want to be social. I want to be, so what do you want to be that day? What do you want to be? And what do you want to feel? Take responsibility for what you feel. Feelings are so much of our energy. As a matter of fact, the vibrational frequency scale that Dr. Stephen Hawkins, as a matter of fact, is the one who assigned the numbers to. So a physicist assigned these numbers to the frequency that we are in, and he gave them the names of emotions. So he used emotion to determine it. Emotion, energy in motion. So it's really kind of hard to say that we're not energetic beings, conscious, and that consciousness is not attached to emotion, when the frequency that we're assigned at any given time, low frequency or high frequency, is attached to emotions. It's also attached to color. Colors evoke emotions. Yeah. So there we go. It's attached to sound too. But sounds and beats, it's attached to beats too. Beats, they evoke emotions. They evoke us to be, energy in motion evokes emotion. So it's kind of hard to argue against the fact that emotion is a part of all of this. So what do you want to feel? You take sovereignty over that. Now, unfortunately, we have been raised and are programmed in the ego, which likes to take over, but we take sovereignty over because that energy center does not get to run the show. It is programmed. It is only a program. That is not the dimension of ourselves that we let run the show. We take sovereignty over that. Okay? Okay? We do not let it say, that made me feel that way, and surrender to that. No. I'm not going to surrender to what a program tells me I'm feeling because somebody in the cheap seats, somebody way out there, that's not even close to the front row of my life, made me feel. No. For an instant, for a second, maybe it made me feel that way. But then I recognize that program and I reject it. I take sovereignty over it. And I say, no. That dimension does not control how I feel. That is not my feeler. That is a place that keeps me safe. And that is a place that keeps my ticker going and all those things. But that is not my feeler. My feeler is here. Heart. My emotions are here in the intuitive, imaginative, conceptual dimension that conceives my life. That has sovereignty. And I conceive today to feel happy and joyful and perky because that's who I am. And so, yeah, for an instant, the program kicked in because someone did something that I am programmed to respond with, ouch, that hurt my feelings. But I'm sovereign over that. And I reject that programming. I overcome that programming. And we become very quick at this once we understand and accept that sovereignty. This is the responsibility we have for our own self-care. This is what self-care is. Now, you have people who will tell you self-care is going and getting a massage or a pedicure or a manicure. Now, maybe it is, because maybe by going and getting a massage or a manicure or a pedicure, that is how you get your mind off, your ego off. Somebody hurt your feelings and you get back into your heart space and you overcome it and you take sovereignty over it. Maybe that is how you do it. But that's a long process for it. And when we were in denser emotions or frequencies, we took the time to do that, to take sovereignty. We don't need to do that now. We are not in those denser energies anymore. We are much more high vibrational beings than that now. The planet is moved into more high vibrational energy. We have all raised our vibrational frequencies. There is no need for us to have to go through that whole process of, oh, I've got to go get a massage so I can get over that. No. No. Self-care is, my mind does not say how I feel. Yes, that hurt for a second. But I'm taking sovereignty over that. I choose how I feel. And I don't feel from the cheap seats. I feel from here. And I chose this morning to be my authentic self. And my authentic self was designed at the frequency of perky and happy. And that is the life I came here to live. And so over there doing such and such is not taking me out of my vibrational frequency, because when I am in my vibrational frequency and responsible for my self-care, when I respect myself enough to be in vibrational frequency, what I am supposed to have in this life will come to me. And when everyone else is doing that, what everyone else is supposed to have will come to them. And we will all be living the lives we came here to live. And the world will be in harmony, peace, healthy, happy. So we all take sovereignty over self, personal responsibility, practice self-care. Decide to feel from the heart, which is the center of feeling anyway. There's a reason why we say, oh, that broke my heart. That's why. Feelings are never about the mind to begin with. And we always knew that, or we would not have instinctively grown up saying, that hurt my heart. We wouldn't grab our heart when something is emotional. The mind has tried to rob us of that, what we instinctively know, taking it back, sovereignty over our feelings. Now, that doesn't mean ignore what you feel. Feel your feels. Honor yourself and feel them. There are things that people do that they should not do, and we should pay attention to them. If someone is consistently rude to you, feel that, acknowledge it. The brain is learning, that person is always rude to me. I have learned, don't go around that person. That's what I've learned. The mind is going to protect me from that now because I have learned. Don't go around that person. They're rude. But the heart does not have to go into, oh my God, I'm devastated. That person doesn't like me. They're rude to me. Why don't they like me? What's wrong with me? Well, why is it nobody likes me? You see the spiraling down that we go into? The low self-esteem we would get into? Because, well, that other person, they were kind of rude to me too, because that's what the mind would do before. No, we don't do that. We heal from those things. And we're going to get into that too, how we heal from those. But first, we stay in the present. We're not talking about the past, what somebody else did to us. We're talking about right now. Just right now, stay in the present. Okay? So what do you want to feel today? Well, we certainly don't want to feel any of that stuff. We want to feel whatever it is you want to feel. If you want to feel like a millionaire, then you feel like a millionaire because that's how you become one. You feel like it. Okay? So you feel whatever you want to feel. Because the truth of the matter is, if you're inspired here, if it's conceived of here, then that's a story that's in your heart. Yeah. Now, are there some stories there that maybe aren't exactly right? Maybe so. We'll deal with that later. Right now, it's here. And for now, let's go with it. Okay? All right. The heart knows the story. The ones that really light you up, the ones that feel right. You're going to have some that light you up and you'll be like, okay, I know better than that. And I don't mean the ones that light you up and you know better than that because it's like, oh, you're not good enough for that. Or no, you're not good enough for that. Those don't pay attention to the mind. I'm talking about the ones that are just, yeah, we'll get into that. But the things that really light you up and really make you happy and really inspire you, and you're like, yeah, that's mine, that's for me. You go with those feelings every single time. Don't let anything get in your way. That's the kind of energy we're talking about. That's the story that your heart knows and that you're being drawn to. You feel those feelings and you write those down. I'm going to feel. And you're going to find that you're consistently having those. I'm going to feel happy. I'm going to feel like, I'm feeling like, I feel. And you're going to find, I feel perky. I feel happy. I feel excited. I feel motivated. And off I go. And it's the same stuff because it's who I am. It's what I am. I know. My heart knows. Just be real with it. But be bold with it. I feel. What do you feel? Know what your parents tell you feel. or your brother or sister tell you feel, or society tells you feel, or you should feel, or you're supposed to feel. What do you feel? What do you want to feel? You feel. Okay? Now, and I am experiencing, or I will experience. What are you here to experience? I can tell you I'm here to experience heaven on earth. Because I know we came here to live what Dr. Bruce Lipton calls the honeymoon effect. We did not come here to know about the lower energies. We came here with the plan to live baseline good, and then gooder, goodest, and on up. We did not come here to live understanding bad, evil. There's no reason for us to have ever been curious about those. And the people who tell you, well, you wouldn't appreciate what you have unless you understood not having, who says? Who says? I challenge that. It's not true. You do not have to know having nothing to know the difference between having enough and having a whole hell of a lot. You don't have to know being dirt poor to know having enough, comfortable, and having more than comfortable, and having everything your heart ever desired. You do not have to know an extreme to know baseline good and all the way up. And we did not come here to know lesser than good. Humans were not designed to come here and have negative experiences. Those are all the byproduct, all the byproduct of bad programming, and not understanding how to do energy management. And that is why I'm so passionate about this. When we understand how to control the mind, that the mind is merely a programmable tool meant to protect us, not dictate and guide our lives, that the mind can conceive of nothing original, that only the heart can do that, and the heart is our intuitive guide to live by. That we have a higher self that guides us and helps us, that we are multidimensional, that we are energetic, and that when we function as a multidimensional energetic being, we can stay happy and healthy, whole and complete, and that we can have sovereignty over that. That is what we forgot. And that is what led us to experiencing the lower frequencies. And that was not meant to happen. We were not meant to forget. We were not meant to not know how to utilize our energetic bodies. Energy management. It's that important. We are meant to know how to use our energy, our energetic bodies. So once you've decided how you want to be, feel, and what you want to experience in the day, I want to experience heaven on earth is what I want to experience. I came here to be, feel, and experience. I came here to have a romantic life. I came here to have a successful life. I came here to have an abundant life. I came here to know the joy of having the time to do the things I want to do, to experience the successes I want to have, to write the books I want to write, to sing the songs I want to sing. What do you want to experience? Do you want to climb that mountain? What do you want to experience? Claim that. If it's here, say so. I am experiencing. What is it you want to experience? What is the desire of your heart? What is your heart's desire? It tells you who you are. I know who I am because I know my heart's desire. I know who in my life lights me up, what in my life lights me up, what makes me happy, what I'm doing and who I'm with that makes me smile and shine. And I know what all those things are. Are they there yet? No, but I write them down every day like they are to keep myself in the vibrational frequency to attract them. And so I be, feel, and experience. So I keep myself in alignment with, so that my daily self-care is me being that person that causes me to be in alignment with that being the case. Because that's what self-care is for me. That's what self-care is. Self-care is knowing what you want to be, feel, and experience, and then living your life as if that is who you are, so that is who you become. That is what self-care is. And when you do that, and you respect everyone else around you as they do the same, and you treat them with the same respect you are treating yourself, there's no time, there's no room for anything but mutual respect. There's no room to be mad or angry. Are we going to flub up sometimes? Are we going to say something? Maybe we're going to be tired and we're going to be short with somebody. Well, when I do that, I want somebody to be understanding and to forgive me. Therefore, self-care for me is when somebody is a little short with me, I want forgiveness for myself. Therefore, I'm going to be forgiving of those things. Mutual respect is that they will do the same. That is the person I'm going to be. Therefore, that is the type of people I'm going to attract to be around me. I'm going to be that kind of person. Therefore, that is the kind of people I'm going to be around. And as we all start setting those standards, it doesn't require arguments. It doesn't require hostilities. It doesn't require, I'm going to line that person out. It doesn't require any of that. It just requires, this is who I am. This is what I want for me. So it's how I'm going to treat myself. That's how I'm going to treat other people too. And that is my self-care. I will treat myself this way. I will forgive myself for being that way, but I will forgive others. And then I will be around others who behave the same. That's my self-care. Okay? Then you write your I am statement for the day. I am Meshea. And Meshea is, and then you take a little bit out of each of those statements and you say who you are. So you just kind of have a, I am, and you say what you are. Just so you can kind of go around and you have this really positive statement about yourself for the day. And you look in the mirror and you go by the mirror and you say, I am. And you tell yourself who you are. You claim it. You mean it. You'd be amazed at what that'll do for you. Because the brain is programmable. And this thing has been programmed with too many bad things about you. So you put this I am statement together, and every time you go by a mirror, and you make sure you go by them a lot, you stop and you say that little I am. I am happy and experiencing heaven on earth. I am abundant and I am having the time of my life. I am perky and I am living the romantic life I always knew I was going to. you do those things. Now, next, gratitude. Now, some people will tell you to write 10 things, make sure it's a different 10 things every day. I teach gratitude entirely differently. Yes, write a few things you're grateful for. We should express gratitude. Usually what I'm grateful for are the things I wrote above that are absolutely, totally happening right then. Not the things that I'm speaking into existence, but I am happy. I am perky. I am experiencing success with such and such. I am, so usually, but I'm also grateful for my new computer. I'm grateful for my new desk. I'm grateful for whatever it is you're grateful for. But then I place more importance on the next step, recognizing what you lack gratitude for. See, here's the kicker. We only have so much energy in 24 hours. You notice I didn't say time. I said energy. We only have so much energy. Where we put our energy is what our life consists of. Now, if you have manifested a life that you're looking around and you should say you're grateful for, but in your heart you really can't, then there is where you're putting your energy, and you should not be. Your energy management is off. When you are managing your energy correctly, you've got time for the things that really matter to you. So it's not about figuring out how to have more time. It's, what am I doing with my energy? Because when you're managing your energy correctly, the time will be there. You're never going to make more time. So you have to figure out what to do with your energy. You're never going to make the day more than 24 hours. And you only have X amount of energy. So how are you going to use that energy to manifest? What are you going to manifest in those 24 hours? Because that's what your life is going to become. It's going to be accumulative. And that's what your life is going to become. It's an accumulation of what you do with your energy in those 24 hours. So do you have a big house that you just knew you wanted and you've put all your energy into acquiring, but you don't really use? You pay somebody else to mow the lawn. You pay somebody else to clean it. Nobody ever comes and stays in it. No, I'm not putting down having a big house. I love big houses. If you have a big house and you're enjoying it because the family's coming and staying, and you've enjoyed decorating every room, and you go to every room at least once a week, and you just it makes you glow inside, and you're having parties, people are coming and they're seeing it, and you're getting use out of it, and you're enjoying it, then I'm thrilled you've got that big house. And I don't care if you have to have a gardener and other people come clean it, and that's great. But if you got this big house and all it is, well, I got to work a lot of hours to pay the taxes, and I got to work a lot of hours to pay somebody to mow it and somebody to clean it, and the kids never come, and my family, they never come. Why do you have a big house? Are you grateful for it? Is that the right thing for your energy management? Maybe it was at one point. Maybe that's what your life was. Maybe you manifested that in your life, used your energy for it, and maybe that was your story. But maybe your story has changed. It's not your truth now. So why are you continuing to put your energy there? If you are looking around and you're like, I should be grateful, if anybody else would be grateful, but I actually feel resentful about it. Or I actually see, at the very least, I feel drained by it. See, when we look at what should I feel grateful for, but I really don't, that is a good way to recognize where we maybe need to change our energy management. Because maybe our story has changed, but society would tell us we shouldn't admit it because you worked your whole life for that house. What do you mean you're going to sell it and downsize to a 2-bedroom, or you're going to buy an RV, or you're going to, yeah, maybe truthfully, when you admit to yourself, the truth of the matter is, I'm not grateful for this house at all anymore. Every time I look at it, I just feel exhausted and like, okay, I don't even know why I manifested it. I manifested it because everyone in my family has one. And the truth is, I've never used it the way they do. Why did I do this? Maybe that's the truth. So then sit down and what would I be grateful for? What would I be grateful for? What is my story? That's everybody else's story. What I manifested somebody else's story. These two things. What am I grateful for? But more importantly, what am I really not grateful for that I should be? These get you to journaling. And that's what I want to talk about next, is how to journal. The way you should journal is have a simple notebook. When you open a notebook up, you look at the right side. What's right? Rarely do we look over at the left. So the left is what's left behind. So anything that's been history, maybe it was lies that society told you. Maybe it was a bad part of your life that you want to leave behind. Maybe it was the truth for you once, but it's not the truth for you now. Or maybe it's what you just realized, I'm not grateful for that anymore. And I need to journal this out and figure it out. That's the left side. So journal that. And I don't care if you have to skip 20 right sides, keep all that on the left. Because what the right side is for, the right side is when you open that notebook up, that's what you look at. Because once you've journaled that stuff out, that's what you left behind. I don't want you revisiting what you've left behind. That's old. Don't put your energy into something that's already happened. Don't revisit that. It's already had your energy. It doesn't need it again. It's poor energy management. Been there, done that. Lots t-shirt, moving on. Now, on the off chance that you do need to revisit it for some reason, I want on the right page for what your story is to be there. Okay, so Dad beat me. The worst god-awful story you can think of over here. But my story is, the truth is, I didn't deserve any of that, and my life now is, and my life is going to be, and this is my truth. The good stuff is here. I don't ever want you to go back and talk about the bad without having the good right there to look at. And I don't want you flipping over to the left and looking willy-nilly. That's the past. Don't put your energy there. That is poor energy management. And when somebody asks you about the bad, you don't have to give them details. We didn't know that. And that's how we used to treat it, is tell me your story, get it out. And I was taught to do it that way. Purge it, get it out. Thank God I have figured out that that is not the way you do it. Every time you tell it, you put the energy back into it again. You energetically bring it back. I had a rough childhood, but there was a lot of good. And now my story is Now, if I need to give somebody more details than that, I can give them a little bit. But for every negative I can give them, I can give them 5 or 6 positives. And that is actually how I survived it, because I instinctively knew that for every negative that was going on, there were positives. And I also knew that there was some reason why that was happening. I didn't quite get what they were, but I knew there was some reason. So I was blessed with that too. So even then, I knew. I just knew. Thank you, Lord. I knew. So even then, that's how I got through it, is I knew. And now I don't feel the need to go through every detail. I don't feel the need to go through every detail of any past bad experience. Yes, yeah, I went through that, yeah. Yeah, so there were some rough things, yeah, okay. Here's what the good stuff was, though. Or maybe I don't even need to talk about that. There was some good stuff, too. And now I'm here. And my energy is here. And I'm moving toward this. And I'm excited about it. And I know it's going to work out because of this. But now I'm here. Because my energy is here to make that happen. And when I get there, it's going to be amazing. But I'm not there yet. So, yes, I'm putting energy to get there. But right now, I'm right here. That's energy management. So that's how I want you to journal. As you come through your day and you get to this gratitude part at the end of the day, that's why I like you to do this at the end of the day. And you reflect on it. I want to be, I want to feel, I want to experience. Maybe some of those things even make you think, wait a second, why do I want to be that? Why do I want to feel that? I want to journal that out over here. Or maybe it's when you get to the gratitude part. That's how you journal. The right page is where you're talking about the good stuff. This is what I want in my life. This is what's going to happen in my life. This is where I'm at right now. This is my story now. You see, every life is a story. It's here in our hearts. We know we're here to live this story and we're writing it. Don't get too far ahead. It's great to say, this is where I'm going. This is my plan. But don't get too caught up in it because you're not really there yet. And keep it loose and keep it fluid because energy shifts. So have a plan, but keep it loose. I have a plan. I know where I'm headed, but I know that things could shift and I may not get exactly where I think I'm going. And I'm going to get somewhere close to that, or maybe not even close to that, but it's going to be great where I get to. I've got a plan. I'm headed that way. I'm moving in that direction. I'm right here, right now. Focus, centered, being, feeling, and experiencing every day. And this is not telling me, nor anyone else in society, no programming, not what people think I should be doing, no one in the cheap seats, not my past, because I've healed from those things. And talking about healing is a whole other thing. And I would love to talk to anyone who wants to talk about healing. We will talk about healing. Because healing from it is, it's very much some of this stuff that we're talking about. Energy management is how you heal from it. This type of journaling is part of how you heal from it. So this process, doing this energy management every day is part of how you heal from it. These principles, bringing these into your life, this is part of the process. This all becomes integrated into you very quickly. This helps you learn to rely on the other parts of you, your guides, your higher self, source, your heart space, your intuition, overcoming this and the programming, being sovereign over yourself. This helps you do all of that, leaving the past behind. That's the old story. Not getting too far ahead in the future. Having a plan, but being fluid with it, realizing that energy shifts. And so, okay, that's my plan. But okay, yep, got to zig when I was going to zag. No problem. I'm fluid. I got it. I can adjust. It's working. And keep on going. I'm here in the present, being, feeling, and experiencing. I am, and know who you are. That is energy management. It's a part of it, but it's a huge part of it. So this is how you do daily energy management. That is also how you manifest. Now, right now, the whole world isn't doing this. So if everybody were doing this, then we would all be manifesting the lives we were supposed to have. And manifesting would be so much easier because everybody would be attracting to them what they were supposed to be attracting. And we wouldn't have all this butterfly effect stuff going on and all of that, which gets way too complicated. But not everybody is. So we have to put a little more energy into manifesting than we should have to right now. But this is the basis. And this is once everybody gets it plugged into the right frequency, this is what manifesting is. This. Not a whole lot of other stuff. This is the basis for it. You start doing this, and manifesting will get easier and easier. And will start coming your way. Start working in toward this direction. Start doing this. And we can add some things then. Okay? Now, the other things that are here are 3 things for your personal agenda of the day and 3 things for your business agenda of the day. And you're like, just 3? Are you kidding me? That's all I'm going to do today is a total of 6 things? Yep. How much can you really do in a day and do justice to? You've got to do self-care. You've got to spend time going inward. You've got to know who you are. You've got to clear your mind. You've got to do your personal care. And you got to sleep. You got to have adequate sleep. There are things we all have to do every day. We have to take time not to be distracted from self, but to know self. We have to take time to do this. And we do have to rest. And we do if we have people in our lives. Oh yeah, if we've manifested people in our lives, we have to put energy into them too. Because if we're grateful for them, then they are high on our energy list. They're high on where our energy is going. If you're grateful for who's in your life, there's energy going into them. And that is how the relationship stays healthy. And the relationships we manifest into our lives, they should be relationships that are positive energy loops. If you're in a relationship that is not a positive energy loop, then it's going to be on your ungrateful list. It's going to be on the list where you're like, this is something I should be grateful for, but the truth is I'm not. Because it really is draining me, not adding to my life. Relationships that add to our lives are the ones that light us up. And because they light us up, we build them. We are one, whole and complete. They're one, whole and complete. We say, this is how I show up in the world. This is what you can expect of me. They say, this is how I show up in the world. This is what you can expect of me. And then you realize that together, you're exponential. Wow. Together, we create this. We're more together than we are separate. And we have this. And it lights us up. Now, it may not mean you spend every waking moment together or even thinking about each other, but you form something that is exponential. And it's a positive energy loop. This is whether it's your job, a friendship, your romantic relationship, and you have an agreement about what energy goes into that. What does energy into that look like? How much energy does that require to stay that way? Wait a second, it needs to be fluid because energy shifts. So we communicate, and how does that change? But any relationship that does not fit that model, I promise you, you are not grateful for. But if you value the relationship and you are grateful for it, you are putting energy into it to make sure that it is fitting that model and staying in that model. It's one of the two. One of the two. Maybe you're trying to be in a relationship and you're putting energy into that. And maybe it's working and they're putting energy too. And you're like, oh, but we're not doing exactly like that. Start. Well, I'm not sure they want to. Well, then you put a little energy into it and you back up. And you wait and see if they put some energy into it. And you put a little energy into it and you back up. And eventually, maybe it gets to the point where they do, and you can have that conversation and you can build that model. Or they don't, and you have the self-respect, the self-love, and you start putting energy into it. It's either positive energy or it's not. You're either both putting into it or you're not. Any relationship you're in, your job, they're either grateful for you or they're not. Your friends, they're either grateful for you or they're not. Now, relationships change as we go. We change jobs. It doesn't mean we have to burn the bridge for the job we were at. Just because the relationship doesn't work anymore doesn't mean you have to leave it in tatters. There's no reason for that. Self-respect means you don't do that to yourself. You don't treat them. How do you want to be treated when the relationship is ending? Well, that's how you end the relationship, is the way you would want it done for you. And there are seasons too. We can't, what we manifest in our lives, we have to be able to maintain. So you manifested that house. Now you've decided that wasn't what you needed. So now you are going to manifest that you have an RV. Maybe down the line, the RV becomes too much for you because there are a lot of maintenance and driving them around and the parking and all of that stuff. Maybe you decide that now you want just a small home. Well, you don't keep the RV and keep doing all of that. That was a season in your life. So you get rid of that and you get the home. You don't just keep it. Sometimes relationships are that way. Doesn't mean though that when it's a relationship, it doesn't mean that you never go back and visit or when you see them that you're not, doesn't mean you have to totally break the bonds, but you don't put as much time into them anymore. Doesn't mean that when you see each other on the street, it's not just like you saw each other yesterday. That's what a good relationship is. It's when you've had to move on, but when you see each other, it's just like yesterday. It's because energy management is you didn't do anything to damage it. It's just both of you have moved on. But when you see each other, it's just like yesterday. So that if you all move back into flow with one another, you can pick right back up where you were. You leave each other whole and complete. When you leave a relationship, self-care is leaving it whole and complete. You go into it whole and complete, you leave it whole and complete. And you leave them whole and complete. Whether it's a job, a friend, someone that you care about. You go in whole and complete, you leave whole and complete, you leave them whole and complete. So we're going to talk a whole lot about relationships. Sorry, went on that tangent, but since we're talking about journaling and how to do that, that's how we got there. But what you put in a day, you can only do so much in a day. And that's how we got there too. You have to put energy into relationships. So you can only do so much in a day. So we make these long lists. We don't accomplish them. And those long lists stress us. So what can you legitimately do in a day? Write down 3 things business, 3 things personal. If you get those done and you got more time, you're going to be able to think of 3 more. Or maybe you just rest. It's up to you. Now, if you've got 3 itty bitty things, okay, write down 4. Write down more if they're 3 itty bitty things. If they're great big things, write down 1. Use your common sense here. But my reason for saying only 3 of each is so you don't make these lists that are this long and say, I'm going to do all of this today. And then you look at the list and you're overwhelmed and you don't even know where to start your day. Before you even start, you've drained yourself. That's not good energy management. So make your day actually doable. Make your day actually doable. Don't have a bunch of arrows. I had Franklin planners when I worked. I always had a Franklin planner, and you had everything listed that you needed to do. And then you had all these arrows that, oh, this has to get moved over. This has to get moved. That was so discouraging. Now, you were taught to do it that way. So that way you didn't lose track of anything. It wasn't like it was a bad thing. It was literally, that was your whole list of everything that you had going on. You knew you were going to have ongoing things. I mean, that's how it was designed. That was the design. But still, it was so discouraging because it was never done. I mean, it was designed to always be moving things forward. And it was like, this is never done. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Create a list that you can actually accomplish. Don't create something that when you look at it, you're like, I can't do this. Don't do that to yourself. If 2 things is all you can get done in a day, then write 2. If you know it's 1 thing, put 1. Do not set yourself up to fail. Setting yourself up to fail is the fastest way to just giving up. Don't do that to yourself. Okay? So that's how I want you to use this. So you can start practicing daily energy management. It's how you learn to manifest. You're manifesting your day. When you start living your life this way, you're going to start manifesting into your life the things you want. When you're identifying what you want to be, feel, and experience, that is what you want to manifest into your life. Yeah. Yeah. You are doing your manifesting when you do this. And then we're going to talk about ways to enhance that manifesting and fine tune it. But eventually we're all going to get to doing this. I promise you. And you're not going to have to do extra manifesting things. And we're also going to talk about how to tap into other energies that are out there to help with all of that. That's coming. And we're going to get more into how to do all this relationship stuff and more how gratitude works and all the topics that we just kind of hit on. And what we mean by multidimensional self and how to work with these guides and how to work with that intuition and how to overcome that mind and all these things and healing. For goodness sakes, there's so many ways to heal. There's so much here. Let's start with this. And do I really get this excited about this? You bet I do. You bet I do. Do I really believe in this as much as I've seen? You better believe I do. I really do. I wouldn't be telling you about it if I didn't. It really is this simple. I've put the form out there for you so you can see. It's a simple little form. I have a notebook. I have so many notebooks like this, folks. And this is what I do. This is how I live my life. Just like this, just with a little notebook. When I first conceived of this, when it was first given to me by my guides, it was like, well, you could send off to like one of those, get online and design like a binder and everybody could print them off and put them in a binder and it could have like a fancy name on it. And you could do that, but it's not like we're going to make money off of this because it's a PDF and we're just going to tell people about it like we do everything else. So yeah, so make a video and I've been meaning to do it, but it's hard to be concise with because one thing leads to another and because I get really excited about it and all of those things. And but yeah, here it is. It's kind of long, I know, but it's not boring, I promise. And there's just much more to come. Much more to come. Energy management, your daily tool. Take it, tweak it, use it how you want to. We're going to talk about all these things and many, many more in 2022. We're going to be feeling experience 2022 in a brand new way, folks. As long as I'm breathing. Bye, y'all.